Welcome to this ICF Slalom podcast episode, part of the series running until the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. We bring you the inside stories from around the globe from the people who make canoe slalom so special. Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to our fourth episode of this special daily series. Thanks for joining me. We bring you a short daily episode as we guide you on what to expect the next day at the ICF 2026 Canoe Slalom and Kayak Cross World Championships, and a recap on the last day's racing in Oklahoma City, USA. I'm joined again by my co-host, American K1 Women World Champion, Rebecca Giddens. We recap the kayak qualification heats, kayak teams, and preview the canoe qualification heats. More exciting racing on the wonderful Oklahoma City River Sport course, which it must be said is showcasing itself ahead of the LA 2028 Olympics as the canoe slalom and kayak cross venue. The commentary and broadcast from Oklahoma City is sounding and looking great. For the kayak qualification heats, we saw 60 women and 80 men competing to make the top 30 cut to the semifinals on Thursday. Fastest runs were set by world number one and Tokyo Olympic champion Ricarda Funk from Germany and Jakub Krejci from Czechia, both with clear runs. Here is Rebecca's take on what we watched unfold in the kayak heats and then the team races.
Evie Leapart from the United States has to be happy with that qualification run into the semifinals. Sixth place finish with a 2-second penalty, so she was right up there with those top athletes in raw time. Looking at the top 10 finishers for the women's semifinals, it's no surprise. We have 3 world champions and 3 Olympic champions. It looks like each athlete that competed from Slovakia, France, and Australia all went through. So it just shows how deep those countries are in the sport of slalom. As the men's race wraps up, the qualifiers, looks like the Czechs, the German, the Polish, Great Britain, and Australia qualified all 3 of their boats into the semifinals. Very impressive. Once again, just so much depth in these countries. 5 of them were world champions and 3 of them were Olympic champions. So it looks like some pretty amazing athletes made it in and were able to prove themselves that they're consistent, that they deserve to be there. Peter Kauser, I know that name. That is amazing. He must be, 42 now? I raced with him back at the last Olympics. So I retired, 2004. So he's still going. That is really, really amazing for a slalom athlete, but not surprising. The sport is very physical, but it's also incredibly technical. So you will see some older athletes out there that are still able to, podium and be on that stand and deserve to be up there. So it's just one of those sports where technique goes an incredibly long ways. And then, as I always say, to your mindset, the mind games of being an athlete and being able to control that and use it in your favor. So Peter Kauser just demonstrating that he is still an athlete, and I wonder how many more years to come. But hopefully he can get up there with those young bucks on stage. That would be really cool to see. So congratulations to him. Coming in number 3, I see Italy. Ferrazzi is another last name that I'm recognizing. I raced with his mother, Maria. She's from Spain, and her father, Pierpaolo, from Italy. Really awesome to see that name up there. More gold for the Fox sisters. Awesome seeing Australia up there, taking the gold for team runs. Beautiful run down. Everybody paddled so strong and so carefully. They did a great job just timing each other going in and out of the gates. Team run is so hard. It's not just about your own skills. It's slowing down because somebody else came in too high, speeding up because someone else coming in right in front of you. It's a dance, and it's a beautiful dance to watch when it's done well. It can be pretty ugly too. I saw some other moments out there, some contact that was unintentional, some rolling that was unintentional, but those ladies put it together really, really awesome. I was just saying, I hope I got to see Kauser up on the stand, and there he is, along with his teammates from Slovenia for a gold medal. Incredible. It was really fun watching them weave their boats really tight. staying really close together and everybody just pulling off a dream run. Well, it's been a long time since I raced in slalom kayaking, and the sport has changed so much. The boats are a little bit shorter in length. Man, the head ducking that goes on, the in and out of the gates is especially different in the upstreams. They're just cutting that line so tight and getting back into that current. The athleticism, the leaning back onto the back of their boat, and the precision of where that pole has to land in order to clean that gate, because you can't touch the gate, as well as just you can't go the wrong direction through that gate. And so the precision is just so incredible to watch. So I feel like that athleticism has come a long way in the sport. Watching the team runs, I could really relate. It was interesting because the technique has changed so much in slalom, but it didn't change that much for team runs. It really seemed like the same thing from 20 years ago. You're watching the athletes, in their individual runs be able to cut it super tight, but you can't do that when you have more boats out. So it's a whole nother game for them, and something I'm sure that they had to train to do well together, because you're used to cutting in super high and tight, and now you've got to leave room, and sometimes you've got to, speed up. And they were incredible to watch out there. But probably the most relatable thing for me, 20 years later to watch, because the technique just seemed so similar. Something I took note of during the team runs that I didn't expect, but it was very obvious, was just different countries coming up and getting really solid. Having 3 paddlers from China come through, from Japan come through, from Brazil, some of these countries when I was racing that weren't very strong, but watching now, 3 athletes come through that looked really solid was fun to see. These Olympic venues are opening up sports for, in big cities for a new sport, and a place for these kids to go to as an after school, to be inspired by World Cups that are coming to town afterwards, by national races that they're having. And so coaches, learning a new area and helping develop these new teams, and watching them on this world stage in Oklahoma City has been really, really cool to see.
That was Rebecca Giddens, world champion in K1 women from the 2002 Worlds in Bourg-Saint-Maurice, bronze medalist from Augsburg 2003, and Olympic silver medalist from the Athens Olympics. She represented the USA at the Olympics in Sydney and Athens. She spoke to us from Kernville, California, USA. Wednesday's competition on the river sport course for this third day of competition at these Oklahoma City Worlds is the canoe qualification heats. Athletes are again seeking to make the top 30 places to advance to the semi-final on Friday. Also part of Wednesday afternoon's races are the canoe teams, where more medals will be awarded. Reigning world canoe team champions are again Czechia in women's canoe team and France in men's canoe team. Our reigning world champion in women and men's canoe are Klaudia Zawalinska from Poland and Nico Gestin from France. Olympic champions are Jess Fox from Australia and Nico Gestin. Reigning World Cup champions are Kimberly Woods from Great Britain and Nico Gestin. And finally, leading the 2026 World Cup Series after the first 3 races are Martina Satkova from Czechia and Zigelin Hosovar from Slovenia. Perhaps what I love most about these podcast episodes is the unexpected stories that come out. After Eric Giddens mentioned Rebecca's world's boat on Tuesday's commentary, I asked her to elaborate. She also described a photo of her on the podium for K1 women teams at the Laseo Worlds in 1999.
Something spectators might not even think about is each one of these boats is hand designed for each athlete. And the layup is really specific. You have like a general mold, but then boats get cut down a little bit or volume added in different spots. And it's quite the process. So their boats have to travel all around the world with them. Once you get to this level, usually you have 2 boats you travel with because they're fragile and they break easily. And they don't make the trips very often. So you stick it on an airplane and you just hope that it comes out in one piece. I have had races where I showed up and boats totaled and you have to put it back together. And one example of my boat being in many pieces, and it was my world champion boat. I came back from, actually didn't make it back right away. It was delayed and then finally got stuck on an airplane, made it back to San Diego, and Eric wanted to go to the airport and pick it up, make sure that it was all in one piece because it was my boat from the winning the world championships in France. And they had already put it in the back of a pickup truck and they were hand delivering it to our house. And it blew out of the back of the truck on the Highway 5 in San Diego. And Eric heard about this and he ran out onto the highway. I was like, Eric, don't. Like, I was traveling at this point in time. I'm like, do not go out there. Do not try to save this boat. It is not worth it. It's fine. It's just a boat. But Eric is super sentimental. And he went out on the highway and picked up as many pieces as he could. And it was kind of neat that one piece that did come back to me was the stamp on the boat from the World Championships. And then a pretty neat moment, my coach growing up, when I was young, who got me into the sport, his name was Ray McLean, and he wasn't doing so well at that point in time. He was pretty sick with cancer, and I was able to mail him that piece of my boat so that he could have it. And yeah, it meant a lot to him and it meant a lot to me. Yeah, all the people that are involved in your life to help you get where you're at in sport is absolutely incredible. So there's my story on my boat that didn't survive. And it's just something we don't really think about when you're watching it on TV. All right, that photo was taken in 1999 on the podium with Germany taking the lead for team runs, followed by United States of America, which was myself, and Sarah Leith, now Bond, and Mary Marshall Seaver. And then in third place were the Brits. Heather Corey, still an acquaintance of mine. And then my teammates, Sarah Leith and Mary Marshall Seaver, I see them every year. I talk to them on the phone all the time. Still two of my best friends in the world. So to stand on a podium with your best friends at the time and best friends 27 years later and forever is pretty wild. One of the cool things about this sport is it's a lifelong sport. You can do it forever and it's fun forever. And you make memories for a lifetime.
I will again post that photo to my social media channel. Jess and Noemi's aunt Rachel took bronze, and it all proves how interconnected we are as a paddling community. Thanks to my co-host Rebecca Giddens. Our next episode at 6 a.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow will recap the men's and women's canoe qualification heats, canoe team medals, and preview the kayak semi-finals. And throughout these worlds, I will be updating the Canoe Slalom Analytics Google Sheet. There is a link in the show notes. There are multiple tabs covering Worlds, Olympics, World Cups, and more historical results. I'm John Gregory. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, tell other people, send them a link, like, follow, or write a review. And if you need more, keep reading Ettore Evaldi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog, now celebrating its 20th anniversary. Stay safe.
That's it for now, but please subscribe to the podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean.